Sebastian! Stop this madness! The Chantry cannot condone revenge, Sebastian!
It is my right, my duty, to show these assassins there is nowhere in the Free Marches to hide.
This is murder!
No. What happened to my family was murder.
Let's finish this! Here we go!
You're gonna regret it!
I'll deal with this. That's enough! How about you? I'll deal with this. Your family can rest now. Their killers are gone.
Excuse me, who are... My post to the Chanter's board? Did Her Grace let that stay? I thought for sure no one even read, but you say you've killed them. You have my eternal gratitude, Sirrah. It is comforting to think my parents might now rest easily in their graves.
Who sent these mercenaries?
My family has ruled Starkhaven for 6 generations. We have enemies, but none who would identify themselves openly. A distant cousin of mine is claiming rulership now, but he is a bit simple. He can be no more than a pawn in this plot.
Surely you have a guess as to who was behind it.
My parents were always prudent in how they handled our nobles. They did not allow rivalries or resentments to flourish. The attack must have come from outside. Kirkwall is our largest trading partner. I came back here to find support for my claim, and perhaps for a clue as to who is behind this foul deed.
Why didn't your family's enemies hunt you down as well?
That's why I took the offensive. Thanks to you, those Flint Company assassins are no longer a danger. I'm the last of my line. Unless I survive, my family will have no justice.
Who are you exactly?
I am Sebastian Vale, Prince of Starkhaven. Her Grace might prefer I introduce myself as a brother in the Chantry, but I could not stay after what happened to my family.
I hope their deaths bring you peace.
Thank you. More than I can say. I truly did not expect anyone but me to take up this cause. Consider this in advance. When I have secured my lands again, you will be paid royally. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must meet with the Viscount and petition him for aid to a fellow city. Forgive me, Your Grace.
It's not enough to ask forgiveness for a sin you committed in full knowledge. The Maker blessed us with minds and a conscience. He does not approve when we fail to use them.
I'm sorry.
I'm not the one you wronged.
I thought it would end here. That young lady, Hawk, she decimated Flint Company. No survivors. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
Hawk? We were just talking about you.
Saying good things, I hope.
Hawk asked diplomatically.
You know, I hate it when you do that.
Hawk muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf.
If, you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
Tell me about this family.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
Is there any peaceful way to resolve this?
If you treat the Harrimans like those mercenaries, you could start a war. Go carefully, Sebastian.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
If I'm standing beside you, that should make her think twice.
Again, your interest in my plight humbles me. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry. That's strange. The door's wide open, and not a single guard posted. This is not the Lady Harriman I remember. There is something very wrong in here.
More! You lazy son of a bitch! What's taking so long?
Flora?
Why does no one in this house care what I want? More wine, or I swear I will drown you in the dregs.
She doesn't even see us. This is no normal wine.
Bring me my wine, or you will be flayed and thrown into the street. I am the heir.
More logs. It must be molten. You, more coins. I want every scrap of gold in this house.
Please, monsieur!
There's nothing to fear. You'll be beautiful. Pour it over her.
Don't! You'll kill her! He can't hear me.
Perhaps I should be the one.
We must end this madness. I visited this house often as a child. They could not have concealed such goings-on.
Oh, lower. Lower.
I beg your pardon, Hawk. I did not mean to expose you to such things.
No, the feather. Use the feather. Where have you been all my life? Today, I am more than a man. Come, felicitate me.
He has no idea we're here. I've known Ruxton Harriman my whole life. He's a complete prude.
Where's your brother? Let's ask him to join us. Now, you be the naughty apprentice, and I'll be the Templar torturer.
I don't want to do that.
Turn back. There is nothing here for you.
We just want to know what's happening.
You shall not enter.
Demons, temptresses. We must see what greater evil they were protecting. So close to Hightown. I remember no such thing.
You must give me more. Starkhaven will not submit. I put that idiot Goran Vale into the prince's seat, but the other families won't heed him. I must marry him to Flora and solidify our hold. But I need more power.
I've given you much. Your desires run deep. You've already traded your husband and your children. What more can you offer?
What bargain have you made?
Who is this? Who are you? How did you get here? Sebastian!
You were my mother's friend. How could you murder her?
Such an ugly word. I prefer remove the only obstacle between her and her dreams.
This was your idea.
I could create such desires if I wished. But it's far easier to nurture those that already exist. The desire for power is easy to find. You and your friend both possess it, do you not? You both wish to rise.
Not if it meant selling out my family.
How loyal were your friends to you? Everyone has a price. Everyone wants something.
Do not listen to her.
Oh, such a pious soul, masking so much ambition. Are you so different from my lady? You yearn for the same lands, the same power.
I am the rightful heir. She is a usurper and murderer.
You swore to put aside worldly goods and ambitions, but they couldn't stop you from wanting them.
I will hear no more from you.
Let's return to the Chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul.
Sebastian, I am so sorry is such an inadequate word. When I think what Mother made us do, what those creatures made us do.
We were friends, Flora.
It was like a cloud came down on me. All I could feel or think was what the demon allowed.
Was your mother a mage? How did she find this demon?
We've never had magic in our line. Perhaps that made Mother too confident. She thought she could deal with the demon and not fall prey to it.
Right. It is demons who should be feared, not mages.
Those ruins there were unearthed when we expanded the house. Mother found the demon inside. I think she had signed her bargain before we even knew.
Did your mother order the attack on Sebastian's family?
She did. You know Mother, Sebastian. She was always jealous of your parents. The demon twisted that until it was all she could think of. She was determined to seize Starkhaven for herself.
Don't blame your mother. The Desire Demon made this happen.
I doubt many people will be so forgiving. If it takes every last coin my family owns, I will make reparations to everyone we've wronged. Starting with you, Sebastian. We weren't the only ones vying for Starkhaven. If you face more opposition, you have my support.
It will not make up for what happened.
No, that's true.
I'll tell you when I need you. I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the Desire Demon's touch, but I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Aren't you your parents' heir?
I'm the youngest son of 3. My parents were rather traditional. They wanted the heir and the spare, and I was left in the cold. They put me in the Chantry to prevent my competing with my brothers.
You seem very dedicated to the Chantry. You were put there against your will?
At first. But it was the best thing that could have happened. I was a wild boy, a shame to my family. The Chantry made me a man. It's odd. When I wanted to rule, I would have been terrible at it. Now that I might be decent, I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
It's the wisdom not to want power that lets you use it wisely.
You didn't feel what that demon stirred in me. It cannot be right to lead any army to Starkhaven with such doubt in my heart. I owe you more than I can say, Hawke. I will offer my service to you here before I move on.
If you want to help me, do it because we're friends. There's no debt between us.
You have a good soul, Hawke. It was truly the Maker who led you to me. Your hound is a mark of nobility in Ferelden, is he not? I have heard that gaining a Mabari's loyalty is considered the ultimate proof of character there.
That's kind of you to say. I think we make a good pair.
A dog cares nothing for worldly power. The Maker would like to see us learn from them.
Don't let it go to your head. I think this is yours.
My grandfather's bow, but where did you get it?
One of the Flint Company mercenaries had it.
Thank you. It's hard to mourn the loss of a thing while my family lies dead. But I did think of it.
What's the story behind that bow?
As the youngest son, it was my place to lead Starkhaven's militia. But I never had a talent for swordplay. Too much getting hit. My grandfather said the bow is the wise man's weapon. You can defend your city without opening its gates. Grandfather said the day I could pull the string on his bow, it would be mine.
Then why didn't you have it with you?
I was 13 when my grandfather made me that promise. I would rise at dawn to practice my shots until I could hit the eye slit of a helmet from the top of the ramparts. But my parents pledged me to the Chantry before I could show him.
Were you and your grandfather close?
He was a man of the world, Prince of Starkhaven. But he had the most unshakable faith in the Maker. When my parents threatened to pledge me to the Chantry, he told me he'd gladly trade his title for a life of contemplation. The Maker ordained a place for each of us, I remember him saying. We have only to serve.
I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet them. To save them.
I know. You're a true friend, Hawke. You brought me this to remember and honor them. But if I could bring back our lowest servant by snapping it in half, I'd do it without regrets. I'm giving it all up. I made a vow to the Chantry, and it was wrong to turn my back.
Sebastian, listen to yourself. You're as impulsive now as the day you turned away from us. Do you think the Maker wants another rashly spoken vow that you'll abandon when the next passion takes you?
I will not...
This is your life, child. Don't spend it being blown about like a weather vane. But here's Hawke. Maybe you can talk some sense into him.
Is the Grand Cleric upset with you?
She thinks I'm fickle, but I mean it. It was wrong for me to break my oath to the Chantry. I've turned against the Maker. And for what? Why would I want to rule Starkhaven and deal with jackals like Lady Harriman for the rest of my life?
Do you see yourself as a prince? Or a priest?
That's exactly the question I've been praying for guidance about. When I think of going to Starkhaven, calling on allies like Flora Harriman and all the corrupt, scheming nobles, my throat swells shut in horror. When I think about staying, I'm at peace.
If you give it up, what then?
I suppose I must convince Elthina my commitment is sincere. Then I will remain here, to represent the Maker's interests as she thinks best.
You should ask what's best for your people. Not just for you.
I do not have hubris enough to imagine it matters to the common people who rules them. Someone will take the reins. The fields will be planted, the crops gathered. No one will notice that a Vale lives and isn't there, and I can devote my life to the Maker's will on Thedas.
You're wise to stay here. No one trusts a man who breaks his oath.
I cannot return to Starkhaven and subject my people to war without a clear sign that it's the Maker's will. The first enchanter overstepped his bounds.
He was provoked.
The people want to know which side you favor. It weakens you.
Strength will not win this fight, Sebastian. If the Maker is merciful, he will help them find peace. We can only be waiting when they do.
Do you never intend to give a public answer, Your Grace?
What have I been asked?
About the mages. You could calm this fire if you stepped forward.
The Chantry's teachings are clear. Those who turn against them would not listen more to me than to Andraste.
Then you do favor the Templars, Your Grace?
I favor peace, which is not the goal of either side, I'm afraid.
That is more apparent every day.
I did not expect things to deteriorate so fast. I thought after the Canary, no one would wish for more violence. It has drawn more attention than I would like. Sebastian, if I can ask...
Anything, Your Grace.
And the champion, too, if you will?
I am your humble servant.
You honor me. The Divine is concerned about the situation here. She does not want to see the Free Marches become another Imperium. She has sent an agent to assess the danger. Meet with her, please. Tell her drastic measures won't be required.
I don't want to see the Divine's armies march against Kirkwall.
Could we keep the Exalted marching to a minimum? I keep all my stuff in Kirkwall.
Surely the Divine wouldn't treat the whole city as enemies.
She is concerned. It is never wise to draw the concern of the powerful.
She is the voice of Andraste. She cannot turn the might of the Chantry against the innocent due to proximity.
Were no innocents harmed in the Exalted marches? She will do her best, Sebastian. But she must act first to protect the faith.
What can you tell me about this servant of the Divine?
I was not told her real name. Only to call her Sister Nightingale. She is said to be the Divine's left hand, sent to do work that might blacken the Divine's name.
What argument would convince her?
The Divine has heard my protests already. I must trust your own powers of persuasion now.
This cannot wait.
Thank you. We cannot allow this ridiculous mage rebellion to turn into holy war.
The agent, Sister Nightingale, will be waiting in the Viscount's throne room tonight. She wishes to remain unseen. The room has been sealed since the Canary incident. It may be difficult to get in without attracting attention.
Has been sealed off since his death. A strange place for a holy sister to be. I can handle that. Just the work of a moment.
So, even the Divine fears us now. She should.
Kill the spies!
The Resolutionists. I might have known they would be part of this. Are you Sister Nightingale? I am. Or you may call me Liliana. The Divine sent me to investigate the possibility of a rebellion here in Kirkwall.
Without informing the guards, of course.
This is an unconventional situation. I have some experience with those. The Liliana, who accompanied the hero of Ferelden to slay the Archdemon. Ah, I see it will be harder to remain anonymous so near the Ferelden border. Yes, I knew the hero of Ferelden. He is dear to my heart. I am working for the Divine now, in Orlais. I had not thought to return to this part of Thedas.
Who are the Resolutionists?
An offshoot of a fraternity within the Circle of Magi. There have always been factions that support freedom from the Chantry, and the abolition of the Circle. We have tolerated them, but the Resolutionists have become violent. They are likely behind the unrest here.
Why did those mages attack us?
The Divine has long suspected that Kirkwall's problems were spurred by an outside group. This attack proves she is right.
Are you saying you set this whole thing up?
I let word slip that an agent of the Divine was coming to investigate the mage troubles. It is how they chose to react which condemns them.
Will the Divine send soldiers?
Divine Justinia takes the situation here very seriously. She believes it is the worst threat to Thedas since the Cunara invaded.
A handful of apostates? How can that possibly...
The whole world is watching Kirkwall. If it falls to magic, none of us are safe. Tell Elthina to leave. There is refuge for her at the Grand Cathedral in Orlais. She will not be safe here.
These mages are out of control.
Sister Nightingale says you must leave Kirkwall.
What?
You were right. The Divine will be taking action against Kirkwall, though the sister didn't say what. You must take the holy relics from the Chantry and leave for safety.
Sebastian, I'm surprised at you. Andraste would not thank me for saving a few dusty finger bones and my own skin at the cost of people's lives.
Are you saying you will not flee?
When I became Grand Cleric, I took a vow to the people of Kirkwall and the Free Marches. I will not leave my flock.
Would you let yourself die?
There is no greater devotion than to lay one's life at the Maker's feet. There is no better death than to take the blow for another.
Sister Nightingale took a great risk to warn you. Don't be rash.
Please, Your Grace. Sister Nightingale thinks there will be war.
Then, I must make peace. Settle yourself, Sebastian. I'm in no personal danger. I am Grand Cleric. Who would dare attack me?
If you will not shield yourself, then I will be your shield. You will come through this safely by the Maker's name. I swear it. If Althena won't leave Kirkwall, neither will I. I can't abandon her when the Divine's own agent warned her away.
The Grand Cleric is lucky to have your loyalty.
She'd be luckier were I willing to hit her over the head and carry her away. This isn't her battle. But if these Maleficarum rebel against the Knight Commander, Althena will put herself between them and be torn apart. I must try to make her see reason. This cannot end well. Hawke should do it. Kirkwall needs a Viscount.
Have you asked her if she even wants that?
I watched my parents in Starkhaven. When times are good, the city rules itself. Years could pass and no one would notice who's prince. But when there's famine, when there's war, people look to their leaders. Who does Kirkwall have beyond Hawke?
This is probably a conversation for the two of you to have.
You want me to be Viscount?
Andraste said the Maker is king in the heavens, but it is the kings of Thedas who must recreate his worldly glory. I keep thinking about that. Who better serves the Maker? A brother of the faith, or a prince who can sway a whole city?
Every person does the Maker's work in their own way.
Althena is risking her life by not deserting her flock. Could I do the same? It's been 15 years since I lived in Starkhaven. The people there are only a memory to me. Kirkwall, the Chantry, that's real. That's where I belong.
You're a man of faith, Sebastian. You would have hated politics.
You're probably right. Bootlicking nobles and bickering farmers, I'd have sent the whole lot to do penance. I do appreciate you hearing me out. You've been a good friend, Hawke. I will stay, as much for you as for her grace.
I will have the tower searched, top to bottom.
You cannot do that! You have no right!
I have every right. You are harboring blood mages, and I intend to root them out before they infect this city.
Blood magic? Where do you not see blood magic? My people cannot sneeze without you accusing them of corruption.
Do not trifle with me, mage. My patience is at an end.
A wonder that I never saw it begin.
This needs to stop.
This does not involve you, champion.
I called her here. I think the people deserve to know just what you've done.
What I have done is protect the people of this city time and again. What I have done is protect you mages from your curse and your own stupidity. And I will not stop doing it. I will not lower our guard. I dare not.
Is there any truth to what she's saying?
These are only her latest accusations, nothing more. And what if she does not find what she's looking for? How much further will she go to root out something that isn't there?
The champion knows better than anyone how deep the Circle's corruption goes. I must find the source.
There must be some way we can work this out.
What other option do we have? Tell me, champion, that you have not seen with your own eyes what they can do. Heard the lies of mages that seek power.
Some of us want exactly what you want, Meredith. We're not the enemy.
You would cast us all as villains, but it is not so!
I know, and it breaks my heart to do it. But we must be vigilant. If you cannot tell me another way, do not brand me a tyrant.
This is getting us nowhere. Grand Cleric Althena will put a stop to this.
You will not bring her grace into this.
The Grand Cleric cannot help you.
Explain yourself, mage.
I will not stand by and watch you treat all mages like criminal, while those who would lead us bow to their Templar jailers.
How dare you speak to me?
The Circle has failed us, Orsino. Even you should be able to see that. The time has come to act. There can be no half measures.
Anders, what have you done?
There can be no turning back.
mercy.
There can be no peace.
Althena, no! Make her, no! She was your most faithful, your most beloved. Why didn't she listen to me? Blessed be the souls of the faithful that they ascend to your right hand.
Why? Why would you do such a thing?
I removed the chance of compromise, because there is no compromise.
The Grand Cleric has been slain by magic. The Chantry destroyed. As Knight Commander of Kirkwall, I hereby invoke the right of annulment. Every mage in the Circle is to be executed, immediately!
The Circle didn't even do this! Champion, you can't let her! Help us stop this madness!
And I call on you to keep order. After what just occurred, you cannot deny what must be done.
Why are we debating the right of annulment when the monster who did this is right here? I swear to you, I will kill him.
It can't be stopped now. You have to choose.
Was that why you needed me to distract the Grand Cleric?
You were part of this?
If you knew what I was doing, you would have felt honor-bound to stop me. I couldn't take that chance. The Circle is an injustice. In many places beyond Kirkwall. The world needs to see.
Althena is not the Circle. She was a good woman, and you murdered her!
You fool! You've doomed us all!
We were already doomed. A quick death now or a slow one later. I'd rather die fighting.
You're a murderer. The Grand Cleric, the mages, their blood is on your hands.
I know.
It doesn't matter. Even if I wished to, I could not stay my hand. The people will demand blood.
I won't let her slaughter all of you.
But what of Anders?
Hawk, if you do this, I don't know if I can follow.
And so you would defend these mages, after all they have done? Throw yourself at a hopeless cause?
You sure about this? Even you might not win this fight.
I know we can do this. I believe in you, Hawk. Standing up for the downtrodden, protecting the innocent, shoving a sharpened spike up the tyrant's behind. What are we waiting for?
Think carefully, champion. Stand with them and you share their fate.
I'm not helping you, Meredith.
Thank the Maker.
It is a mistake, but I won't abandon you.
I see what you are trying to do, and my place is with you.
You are a fool, champion. Kill them all! I will rouse the rest of the Order!
Go! Get to the gallows before it's too late! So it's come to this. I don't know if we can win this war, champion, but thank you. I will leave your friend for you to deal with. I must return to the gallows. Meet me there as soon as you can.
There's nothing you can say that I haven't already said to myself. I took a spirit into my soul and changed myself forever to achieve this. This is the justice all mages have awaited.
Did that spirit tell you to do this?
No. When we merged, he ceased to be. We are one now. I can no more ignore the injustice of the Circle than he could.
So you start a massacre to prove a point?
I'm not proving a point. I'm changing a world. You've never been part of the Circle. I have. The people fear what we can do. But to use that fear to bludgeon us into submission is wrong. And they do it with our blessing. And if I pay for that with my life, then I pay. Perhaps then justice would at least be free.
Opinions?
If I'd been in that Chantry today, would you be waffling? You know what must be done.
Bold plan. Well, I thought so.
He wants to die. Kill him and be done with it.
Belief is no excuse. Sincerity does not justify this.
He should come with us. Do what he can to put things right.
I think I'm sick of mages and Templars.
Whatever you do, just do it.
You have to pay for what you've done.
I know. The sooner I die, the sooner my name lives on to inspire generations.
It will never be enough, but it's a start.
How invigorating.
We'd all best get to the gallows. And quick. It's going to be quite a show.
It's hard to look at these apostates and not see Anders. Andraste says we're all children of the Maker, and deserve the freedom to walk by his side or throw ourselves to the void. Still, I can't imagine she would support this chaos.
I'm sorry about the Grand Cleric, but there's much more at stake.
She was a mother to me. To every brother and sister in the Chantry. He never took a moment to get to know her. But not every mage is Anders. We're here to help those who have suffered unduly at our hands. I don't know that we can win this, Hawk. Or even if we should. But I will not turn from you now. You've been a good friend. It will be my honor to fight at your side.
I should be at your side, Hawk.
Aveline, charge in whenever you see an opening.
Very well.
Fenris, I want you to stay close. Help out when you can.
As you wish.
Isabella, I want you to fight from stealth. Keep them confused.
Sounds like fun.
Sebastian, I need you somewhere with a good vantage. Cover us while we move in.
May the Maker favor us now.
We're cornered. The Templars know it. You know it. But this is bigger than their hate. Their fear. They've come to take your lives. And we are saying no. We didn't want this. But sometimes you just have to stand.